Meanwhile, on board her campaign plane last night, Clinton reiterated what she had said earlier on that debate stage about Donald Trump's refusal to say whether or not he would accept the outcome of the election.
You know, it was horrifying what he said on the debate stage tonight. You know, our country's been around for 240 years, and, you know, we are a country based on laws, and we've had hot, contested elections going back to the very beginning. But one of our hallmarks has always been that we accept the outcomes of our elections. We do the best we can to have free and fair elections, which we do. And somebody wins and somebody loses.
Well, Donald Trump, meanwhile, took to his preferred medium of Twitter following the debate, writing, and I quote, "Just landed in Ohio. Thank you, America. I am honored to win the final debate for our movement. It is time to drain the swamp and make America great again," end tweet. And joining me now from the spin room at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, CBS News political director, Face the Nation moderator, John Dickerson. And John, we very much appreciate the time this morning. And I want to begin with the headline, perhaps, from last night. Donald Trump still refusing to promise to accept the outcome of the election. Certainly a question that he had time to prepare an answer for. And last night we heard it. In fact, there was a promise to keep us all in suspense. Quite simply, what are the implications here?
Well, I think the implications are that Donald Trump's Achilles heel, the biggest question is whether he is too risky to be president. That's been the one for those Republican voters who've been nervous about him. It's also been the thing that has gotten Republican lawmakers nervous. I mean, in the various times that Republican lawmakers have broken with him, it's been, yes, the specifics of the various things he said, but at heart, it's been a political fear that he's just too volatile, that there's just going to be these episodes, one after the other, and that the normal barriers that keep politicians from going off the rails don't apply in his case. And so here you have one that's a kind of central pillar, the idea of a peaceful transfer of power. And what Donald Trump is doing is he's being coy about it, or on the stump, coy about it during the debate. On the stump, he's not being coy at all. He's saying the election is being rigged, that there is a vast conspiracy to beat him at the election. And that does a couple of things. It incites his followers, who he's basically saying the election's being stolen from you. And then it also puts fear into Democrats, who feel like if Trump supporters are going to be watching the polling places with this sense of agitation and inflammation as a result of the fact that their candidate is telling them that the election is being stolen from them, that's going to make voting a kind of tense experience, which is essentially a way of suppressing their vote. And so that's all of what was wrapped up in his answer last night at the debate. And I think what it sends another message to those Republican lawmakers that, you know, this is just a volatile candidate who's just going to be constantly volatile.
I also want to play another exchange from last night, this one regarding Russia and Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump's alleged coziness with, and get you to weigh in on the other side.
I don't know Putin. He said nice things about me. If we got along well, that would be good. From everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America, that you encouraged espionage against our people.
She has no idea whether it's Russia, China, or anybody else.
I am not quoting myself.
No idea.
It marked the debate really throughout last night, John. Donald Trump's refusal to say anything critical of Russia, when fact-checked by Chris Wallace with regard to his previous statements about Russia's involvement with the Syrian regime. Again, completely taking a pass on that. And speaking directly against intelligence briefings, as Hillary Clinton noted, 17 different intelligence agencies saying they absolutely believe that Russian intelligence is behind the recent hacks that have made headlines here. Overarching, what is the strategy here?
Well, I think to divine a strategy might be asking too much, because we don't know. There is some reason that Donald Trump, who is an aggressive fellow, who doesn't mind saying a critical thing or two about pretty much anything, why there is this safety zone where Russia is concerned, and it's kind of a big mystery. He's been given lots of opportunities. And opportunities not just to bash Russia for the point of bashing Russia, but to show that he understands the nature of the relationship. And the nature of the relationship at the moment is, according to intelligence officials, the senior people in the Russian government are part of hacking into and trying to destabilize the American election. And so Donald Trump seems sort of okay with that, although to say he did in the debate say that he wasn't okay with it, but it seems sort of in passing. He's not very exercised about it. And that is just kind of a mystery. But another thing I thought was interesting is, you remember when he talked about being able to read the body language of his intelligence briefers? Mm-hmm. He was able to not only listen to what they had to say, but he was so acute in his understanding of their movements that he could assume what their body language said. He said this in a previous round of conversation in the election, where he said, he understood that these briefers didn't agree with Barack Obama's policies. So that was in one case. Now briefers are telling him, and the intelligence community is telling him, the Russians are behind this, and no amount of evidence from them seems to, directly from their mouths and with presumably some level of specificity, no amount of that evidence will change his view about Russia or change his sort of view that this could be from anyone. So it's just it's a very big sort of curiosity in his position stances.
If Major Garrett's reporting is correct, Republicans believe that perhaps Donald Trump has done well enough through these 3 debates to perhaps not cede congressional majorities. 19 days out now, John, this is the last time that those 2 candidates will have the stage they had last night. What do you expect between now and November 8th?
I expect Hillary Clinton to try to lock in some of the gains that she's made over the last 2 weeks. Early voting starts in North Carolina today. It's already underway in Iowa and Ohio. It starts soon in Colorado and starts soon here in Nevada. And then, of course, the big one in Florida starts, I believe, on the 28th. So they're going to be trying to be strategic about locking in the support she's got, particularly among women. There were moments in the debate last night where she was almost narrowcasting to her female audiences, both on the question of abortion, but then also on Donald Trump's response to his accusers. And what they can do is, because Democrats, Republicans too, but they on the Democratic side have a strong team of analytics, as they call it. They can tell who has voted, what kind of voter, and really target the people who are not voting, but also target the people they think they can take advantage of whatever's in the news. And right now, even little things like Donald Trump interjecting and saying Hillary Clinton was a nasty woman, they'll use that to bank those early votes. So that'll go on basically from now until voting ends. About a third of the votes will be done early voting. So that's really the strategy. I think also we saw Hillary Clinton. She didn't do it as much as her team was telegraphing, but trying to send a message of inclusivity, togetherness, trying to basically be a foil to Donald Trump's harsh, kind of divisive ending pitch here. And she's trying to be a sort of person who will bring everyone together. She was much more aggressive in the debate than I would have actually guessed she was going to be or thought she was going to be. But she did at the end try to sound that note of unity, and I suspect we'll hear more of that from her.
It was certainly some remarkable theater in 3 parts that we saw. John Dickerson, your relentless march to November 8th continues. We do appreciate the time.
Thanks a lot, Josh.